We're back with another episode. How are you doing, Kate?
Hey guys, I am doing well. This is our take two. We had some technical difficulties because I tried to do it on my way home and that just didn't work. But we told y'all we're going to get it done and we're getting it done. But
Absolutely.
yes. And Boone says hey too. He is right here playing.
So cute.
But
So
I
cute. Yeah, we've been wanting to get one of these filmed for a minute, and we're trying to find these times that work for both of us. So I know that Kate was on her way home from, crazy work hours you've been having, and just trying to get everything to line up has been exciting, honestly. I'm just happy to hop on here and just chat. So
I
I'm
know,
glad.
and especially because we're in different time zones now too. That definitely
Yeah.
doesn't help anything.
Yeah. No, but we were saying before, it's there's no reason to have any pressure. We'll get them up when we can get them up, and it's just a fun little side thing. So
Yeah, and we'll
it's
keep
fun.
y'all on your toes. You never know when
Oh
it's
yeah,
going to come.
I love it. No, I'm excited. And Kate and I were texting earlier today. We're like, okay, what do we want to podcast about? And I feel like we both really like it when it's just conversational and we don't have a huge plan going into it, like what we're going to talk about, and it's just whatever is kind of on our hearts to go back and forth about. And I think what we were landing on today as we were talking is this idea of, that all or nothing mentality and, our experience with it. And I know a lot of you guys struggle with it, a lot of both of our clients, I know that I don't coach bodybuilders, and Kate, I think that you're also mainly lifestyle people, right?
I have one girl that is her plan is to compete, but that's still a many years in the
Long term.
future. But yeah, mostly lifestyle.
Yeah. And I think that's something that we're both really passionate about. I mean, I know that Kate got her wedding dress today, or not today, but this
Yes,
week, which
yes,
is so exciting.
yes.
And we're just in this, I don't know, really cool phase of life. And I think we are really passionate about fitness being a part of your lifestyle and not the other way around. Fitness to be something that complements your lifestyle rather than controlling it. And I think that's something that has taken time, and it's something that we both, as we're now becoming wives and growing older, and our priorities are I don't know. It's really cool. What are your thoughts there?
Yes, I was listening to a podcast this morning. It was Jaraja, and a lot of y'all
Mm,
that compete probably know who Jaraja Hill is. She was killing it just like 2 years ago, and she's still a great competitor. But she just had a baby, and she was
yeah.
talking about how she almost had this identity shift when she had this baby, and it's something that any competitor or lifestyle client can really take away from. Just because she's a competitor doesn't mean only competitors can relate to this. It's anyone. She had an identity shift because she was this person who had to get up every day and would eat her pre-workout meal, go train at the same time every day, would come home, have the same exact mealtime every single day, the recovery routine. But then she had a baby, and she was
Yeah.
talking about
Your
how
world doesn't revolve around yourself anymore,
right, and she was like, I struggled because I realized hey, I can't have the same routine. And at first she was talking about how she kind of just felt like, well, if I can't have this routine, then I can't do it at all. And that's not the case because I think maturing in fitness is all about learning to be flexible. And this is something I've definitely had to learn. I
Me
used to
too.
be, I used to only work 3 days a week, and my days off, they look the same. I would wake up, go to the gym, come back home, eat the same meals at the exact same time. And now that I work 5 days a week, I can't do that. I've really had to
Yeah.
learn how to be flexible, and my schedule changes every single day. Sometimes I'm working early to mid afternoon. Sometimes I'm going in later and working later afternoon. And I've had to learn to be flexible with okay, today I'm gonna hit legs at 2:15 in the afternoon. Next week I might have to hit legs at 6:30 in the afternoon. And it's all about being flexible. And this scared the crap out of me when I moved here.
Yeah.
But I've just kind of learned the work's gonna get done no matter what.
And
And
you just have to adjust, right?
exactly.
It's not an excuse. It's something that's been on my heart a lot lately has been bloom where you're planted. It's not about your circumstances. It's not about your challenges or waiting until you feel ready or when the situation is right. It's no, take advantage of the place that we're in right now, and how can we, make that to the most of our potential. And I feel like Kate, you do a really good job of that. So it's
Yeah,
awesome.
and I'm not gonna lie, it's not always super easy. I definitely
No.
struggle when I get out of my routine. I still freak out. I still get really anxious. We had family come stay this past weekend. I was not on it with my meal
Yeah,
timing. And I mean, yeah, like looking back, it was actually really bad because I had my first meal, my second meal as my lunch, my third meal had to be huge. Like it just had to happen. And
yeah.
I got 3 meals in and then a snack, but at least I still hit my food at the end of the day, and that's
You
okay.
still hit your targets. Like, that's the thing, like, we can be so hard on ourselves, but, like, you still are getting in what you need to be getting in, and did it look different that day? Yes, but,
Yes.
like, that's okay, you still got done what you needed to get done, even if it wasn't the same as it looks every other day.
And in my mind, yes, I sucked at meal timing that day, but you know what? I would have much rather have been able to be more present and have an absolute blast with my family member. And I can look back on that experience and be like, okay, I just had so much fun and I felt just so good. I can't pull out a meal like halfway through window shopping. You just can't do it.
Yeah,
It's okay. I
yeah,
think a lot of people kind of get turned off from competing because they hear these bodybuilders that are like, oh no, you have to hit this at XYZ or you're not going to be good. And that's just not the case because if you cannot make
yeah,
this realistic and sustainable, then you're never
absolutely.
going to succeed. And that goes for anyone like that competes or lifestyle.
Mhm.
Like I think we all like feel this pressure like we always have to be perfect and that's just not the case. And
Not the
people that act like they're perfect all the time, they're not. And if
and
they are,
that's
it's for a
like
short amount of time.
exactly, and it's like a lot of times I don't know, it's like a whole 'nother I could go off on a whole 'nother tangent there, but I think like for me and probably both of us and a lot of people listening right now, I've really been working on finding this groove between being too rigid and too flexible. And I think that is really at its core what all or nothing is about. And that's something that comes up, I mean, at least for me, a lot of times with my clients because my bread and butter lately has been busy moms. Like they're my best clients. I love them. I have like, honestly, the roster that I have right now just fills my heart so much. It's so cool to be able to help these people through, whatever their routine looks like. And that's what it's all about. It's like, okay, are there days where there's gonna be no obstacles in your way? No, like the timing isn't ever gonna be perfect, but it's like it's learning how to adapt. And for me, I have struggled almost in the opposite way of you, Kate. Like, we're so similar, and although our situations are so different, it's like for me, I've been building my own business, right, over these past few years, and it's been so great to have this flexibility. But I'm such a type A and structured person. So the fact that I'm not like 9 to 5, sometimes I struggle with because there's not anybody telling me what I need to do, like when I need to get it done. So I have so much flexibility and I just have like this long to-do list of things that I need to do. It's like, how do I structure these things? But I think this is going to be a really cool topic to talk about of just like this idea
Yeah.
of all or nothing.
I wonder if we could break it into like subtopics, like
Mhm.
almost like what are some things we struggle with, like not being like all in. I think we could break it into like training and nutrition almost.
Yeah, and I honestly just wanna, like, chat about it because I know that there's a lot, like, recently that I've changed. Like, for you, is there anything you just went through a move, you're getting married, you're now living with, your fiancé, and I know that that changes a lot of your
Yeah,
routine. Like, you wanna start there and talk about how that has changed things for you? Because I know it's changed a lot for me.
yeah, for sure. I would
Mhm.
say I've always been someone that loves living alone
Yeah.
because for the sole fact that I can stick to my routine and not have to worry about anyone else, all I have to worry about is me. So I had roommates for a little bit, and that was really hard because I didn't have that, that structure for myself. So then I moved in like into my one bedroom apartment again, for the sole fact I could have that structure and routine, even though I was like paying $1,000 more a month. To me, that was important.
Yeah,
I was like, I want my routine. I don't want anyone to mess it up. And I got really used to that for about a year. And then when Lane came back from his internship in Texas, he moved in with me. And it definitely was hard on our relationship because I was like, okay, now I have to learn to really live with someone else. Like, I can't
yeah,
just hide from Lane like I used to hide from my roommates. I
yeah,
had to learn to be like, okay, he eats dinner. Okay, he doesn't eat like a last meal or meal number five. I had to learn to like kind of like restructure the way I looked at my meals and my meal time, and just so we could
yeah,
have that time together. And I honestly think that's a big thing is like learning how to make your routine fit around like people in your life, you know, because this is such a selfish sport and like we don't get to go on dates every night or sometimes every week right now we're able to do that, but you know,
But you know what's cool about that? I don't wanna interrupt you because this is, like it's so honestly cool to hear you talk about it because these are the same things that, like, have been going through my head, so I know that it's going through people, whether they're moms or they're, living with roommates or when you're not just living for yourself and you're trying to align with somebody else, like, you said, we don't go on dates all the time and things like that, and, like, what comes to my mind is, do you feel like that makes it more special? Like, that's something that I've learned, and I'll get into that in a second, but, like, it almost makes the times that you do go on dates or you do have special dinners together, it makes it, like, that much more special.
we get so excited to go on like a dinner date and like just like dress nice. Shoot, even if like we go like on a picnic or something, we love picnics. We get so
Yeah.
excited and we look forward to it. We put it in a calendar on our phone. But yeah, that's
Yes.
a great way to look at like look at the positive side of it. Like sure we don't get to go on dates every week, but when we do, we make the most of it. But I guess like getting back to like just learning to like structure your routine so you can like still live your routine with other people and learn to adapt and be okay with the fact like hey like the person I'm moving in with and that I love and that I live with, they live differently and they eat dinner and Lane really likes to eat dinner with me. That is so important to him and that was something I had to learn to like readapt my mindset around because I had structured times. I would eat at like 4 and
Mm,
then like 7:30. But now like I've reworked and restructured my whole routine so we can have our last meal together. And was that harder at
yeah,
first? Yes. Because I was so used to it and I was like so scared like what if this is going to change me around? What if I'm just going to wake up really hungry or go to bed really hungry? But, you know, everything works out in the end.
yeah,
And to me, it's worth it. Like, you have to look at it like, sure, you could stay 100% on plan, but is it worth sacrificing something that matters most to someone you love? You know, like,
yeah.
I'm like, he cares so much for me. He supports me so much. I can do this one thing for him.
Exactly, and, like, to look at it in a different light too, because I know that, we all put a lot of pressure on ourselves and you say, I could be 100% on plan, but even though these things look different and even though it looks different from what our idea of perfect is, right? Or our idea of ideal, you're still getting in your meals, you're still hitting your nutrition targets, you're still checking off the boxes that you need to check to get to your goals. And even though these things look different, it's like I think that's what all or nothing is all about, and that's something that I feel like I've had to adapt to too, like you've said, it's really cool, honestly, to hear you talk about having dinner together because for me, and I think you can probably relate to this too, Kate, like, I have not very many question marks around my meals, around how I hit my nutrition targets. That's easy now. About how to train effectively. That's easy now. About how to check my boxes. That's pretty fairly easy now. But sometimes, as silly as it sounds, I feel like a baby giraffe because I'm like, I I don't know, like, okay, we're gonna be having dinner at this time, so how do I approach my day this way? So all these little things, there's always gonna be something that we're working on, and I have no doubts that I'm gonna get in all my meals, that I'm gonna hit my targets. Is it gonna look a little bit different some days? Absolutely, but, like, for example, Bradley, he works 9 to 5, so right now when I'm filming this, for me, it's 6 p.m., so I know that he's probably gonna get home from the gym at, like, 7:30, so I map out in my head, "Okay, we're probably gonna have dinner at this time." I've baked potatoes going in the oven because that's an easy single ingredient food, or sometimes, like last night, we had some ingredient prep and we threw it together, but we still ate our meals together, and it's like structuring my day around that and keeping it simple. So it's just cool to hear you talk about it because it's something that I've been working on too, because like the past 4 years I've been competing or just into the gym, it's like I've had my schedule and nobody else really affects that. And now, like you said, just having that same conversation, like this is a very selfish sport sometimes, and learning how to do this in a way where I'm not sacrificing time with my family. I'm not sacrificing these memories. I know how to work around it and make this journey a part of my lifestyle rather than something that completely halts my lifestyle. And it's like, oh, when are you going to get back to normal? Like, I don't want to wake up one day and be like, oh my gosh, my whole life passed me by. So it's
Yeah.
about figuring out how these things go together, and it's just cool to hear you talk about it too.
I've really been struggling like really bad lately with the fact like it's not a question. I'm gonna hit my stuff. I'm gonna get my training. I'm gonna get my cardio, and I'm gonna hit my food.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna go over.
Those
If
are our non-negotiables,
Yeah,
right? Like, we know we're gonna do it.
no matter what, that's gonna happen for me. But the fact I've just had been so like dead set on this one routine. I loved like getting my meals in all day, but my last meal I love just like this is gonna make me sound like a lazy bum. I
No.
I love like rotting.
Hey.
Hey, we're talking. I love like just rotting on the couch and like eating my last meal and everything. And this is funny. He's walking out at this moment because we've literally been dealing with this. Um, but I loved that routine and I loved having that time to myself, just eat my last meal, watch something on TV. And Lane, like, he's like, no, like, let's sit at the bar. Let's
I
talk.
love that.
He's like,
I love that.
that's so funny. He was like, let's sit at the bar and let's eat dinner together. And I don't know why, but like, I was like, no, my routine is I sit down on the couch and I eat my last meal.
That
And
is so funny because, like, that's almost like I'm laying in that situation. I'm like, "Can we sit at, like, the dining table?" And Bradley wants to watch a YouTube video, so, like, we go back and forth. Like, some days we'll sit, and just chat at the dining table. Sometimes we'll sit together and we'll still eat and watch something, so it's cool to hear
I
the dynamic.
I don't know why it had been my routine. And like to me, that this is how I struggle with all
Did
of
you I don't wanna keep interrupting you, but I'm so curious. Did you grow up eating that way? Like, did you grow up, like, eating and watching something? Like, where do you think
that.
that stems from?
I think it stemmed from when I was like working in the ICU. Like when I moved to
Yeah, so
Athens
to
to
quick.
try my job in the ICU, that is how I dissociated from my work days. Always, I would sit down, dissociate. Because I talk all day as a nurse. I'm talking freaking for like 10, 12 hours. And that's the one time I cannot talk or not think about anything. And now
Yes,
I want to sit at the bar and talk while we eat dinner. And I was like, oh my God, are you serious? But we're actually doing it tonight. I was like, you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna cook us some pasta tonight with my
oh,
macros,
yay.
and
Send me some pictures, I
I
wanna
will,
see.
I will, girl. And we're gonna sit there and we're gonna eat dinner. And
Love
this
it.
is like a big jump for me. Like I'm out getting out of that all or nothing routine of, okay, I'm gonna
Yes,
sit down, eat my meal on the couch, and you know what? I'm not eating my cream of rice typical meal that my all or nothing
yes,
mentality used to. I'm gonna make a fun dinner for us because
yes,
yes, I'm still hitting my stuff. I'm not going off plan one bit, but I am getting off of my routine, and that can be scary. But you know
mhm,
what? It's worth it because I love him, he loves me, and he's gonna be here in 50 years when bodybuilding isn't and my routine isn't. And
yeah,
I think that's how I struggle with all or nothing, like
I
routine with
agree.
food, especially. I even at work, like I used to just like love to eat in silence. I don't know why. Like I used to get so scared if someone said something to me. Um,
I'm the same way. That's really cool to hear because, like, sometimes I get anxious when I'm eating my meals and I'm with family, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I just wanna, like, enjoy my meal," and, like, when people are talking, I'm like sometimes I get overstimulated, and maybe it's because I always sit outside, like, when I have a meal, and I'm, like, only just in my thoughts. It's cool to hear
yeah,
you say that.
but honestly, it could go like this way with like free meals too. I think we
Yeah,
have struggled with not want to take free meals. I know I definitely have, um, and this definitely could bleed over into that all or nothing mentality.
yeah,
I thought I was better for not taking any free meals because I was all in 100%. Like I'm not going off plan, and in the
yeah,
end, that only made me worse because
yeah.
stress
What
of
do you think you, like, missed out on because of that? I think people would be interested to hear.
yeah, oh my gosh, I missed out on so many things. I missed out
Yeah,
on family events. I missed out on family birthdays, grandparents'
yeah,
birthdays, my own birthday. I've missed out on family vacations because I was so scared to figure out like what was I gonna eat, where was I gonna work out, and this was very on into like my fitness journey and everything. Now, like I have no problem knowing like how to prep ahead and plan ahead.
exactly.
But at the start, I was just all in. Like I didn't even want to learn. I just wanted to stay
Yeah.
home and hit my own routine and hit my own stuff.
And I think an important distinction to make between what you said there and even what you were talking about before, where you're like, I'm still hitting my targets. Is it not my cream of rice and is it pasta instead? Absolutely. And I think that that's so important to talk about, especially with this all or nothing, is that this doesn't mean that we swing the pendulum the complete other way and we
Right.
completely abandon our goals. And we're just, completely abandoning these goals that we're working towards. We've just understood how to live in that middle ground where we're still showing up. We're still getting our non-negotiables checked, which for us, we're both on macros, right? So I'm still hitting all of my nutrition targets. Do we still take free meals? Yes, but we're living in that, in that middle area. Like I like to talk to my clients about it this way, in that gray area between too rigid and too flexible, right? We
Yes.
don't want to swing the pendulum one way or the other. And that's something that I've been, working at too. Like you said, you guys are doing pasta, which is so awesome. And Bradley and I did pasta the other night. And I think Kate and Alani a year ago would have really struggled with that,
Oh God.
so
Yeah.
it's been so fun. And that's something that, like, in the past few weeks, I started swinging the pendulum too much. And I was putting so much pressure on myself to come up with like the most revolutionary dinners every single night. And this is something that I was talking about on my YouTube. I was talking about to my clients because a lot of my clients, and probably yours too, Kate, will be like, oh, I'm like trying to find these healthy recipes, which is fantastic. I was talking to my mom about this yesterday too. But I think a lot of people overcomplicate it. And I know I was starting to fall into that trap again, where I'm so used to my meals being whole food, single ingredients, lean protein, carb source, fat source, veggie, right? And then I started to stray from that and come up with like, what are these fancy meals that I can make every single night? And I think the middle ground that I've found for all or nothing that has really helped me and Bradley is we still have dinner together every night. But I talked to him and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have we're gonna have fun dinners like twice a week. So something like pasta, that's what we did the other night. Something like tacos, something like burgers where it requires more of like a recipe. And then the rest of the nights, like last night, we did ground beef, broccoli, rice, or it was quinoa, but we stuck to lean protein, carb source, fat, like ingredient prep, super simple, and threw together a plate rather than trying to create a recipe every single night. So
Yeah.
I don't know, I kind of rambled on that, but it's something that I feel like I've come to this realization that we don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. And
Yeah.
that's what makes those fun meals that much more fun, makes
Yeah.
them special.
It's like taking that stress off of you. Like you have to be this
Yes.
perfect or just like go crazy every single day. It's like find the simplicity of it and find the
Yeah.
beauty of that because that's what's sustainable. It's all about finding what's sustainable, and that's
Mhm.
why is you can't have that all or nothing mentality. You can't have the oh I'm too 100% strict or oh no I'm just flexible because neither one of those are sustainable. Like this one you're
Yeah.
gonna get burned out. This one you're never gonna hit your goals. You have to like settle in the
Exactly.
middle. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's like I think it hit me last year in prep when I think a lot of people that get into the gym and get into this fitness space, whether you're competing or not, a lot of us are overachievers or put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So then we want to go 110%. And
Hmm.
it's like if we're going, 110% all the time, like you said, we're going to burn out.
Yeah.
So it's finding that middle ground where it doesn't feel so exhausting. There's no decision fatigue. There's no burnout of like, oh my gosh, I can't do this every day. That's exactly when it gets unsustainable.
Mhm.
Right? So I think finding that middle ground, whatever that looks like for you, is so important.
Right. Yeah, and like even with your training and stuff, y'all, when I moved to Texas, I was like, okay, there are so many good gyms out here. Like I've got to figure out where's the best place. I was going to Absolute Recomp for like a
So cool, by the way.
such a good gym, guys, and so cool, very neat. But it's an
Crazy.
hour from my house, and
Yeah,
it is not realistic for me to drive an hour from there from work, then drive an hour and a half back in Dallas traffic. It's not realistic,
exactly.
and
You'd be exhausted every day. Like,
it's ridiculous. I cannot believe I did that, and
yeah,
it's like you're when you're constantly chasing the next best thing, you're never gonna be happy or satisfied because you're gonna be just chasing constant. like the next thing. And I
Yeah.
told my coach this. I was like, I was so like worked up with finding the best gym. It was really impacting my workouts and my lifts. And I couldn't just stick to one thing because like I was not sure if I was actually progressing because I was just trying to find the next best thing. And
Me too.
I finally was just like, Caitlin, what are you doing? Like, you know how to train and how to progressive overload. You don't need some fancy hip thrust machine or squat machine. So
Stick to the basics.
I ended my membership, and I've just been going to this one my one gym and hidden gym that you came to
Love it.
because
It's
it's
all you need.
it's so great. I love it, and it's close to my work. It's the closest gym to my house. It's like 20 minutes from my house. And I've had the best lifts I've had since I moved to Texas these past 2 weeks. And like I say all this to say, like I stopped chasing the I'm all in, like I have got to be the best I can be. I have to
What's the next best thing? What can I add? What can I perfect?
what's
Yeah.
everyone else doing? Where's everyone else
Yeah.
in Texas? That's a great bodybuilder. Okay, sure, cool. They do all that, but what's best for me? You
Yeah.
know, like you can't just be all into the fact where you're trying to live all these other people's life. You have to live
Yeah.
your life. And yeah, like I really am just talking about this to say, like, I was just trying to find the next best thing. But when you're
Mhm.
trying to find that next best thing, you actually can't value where you're at and like progress where you are at. As I was telling my coach, like, I was so worried about trying to find the next best thing that I couldn't actually progress where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I've
It's
just
so
had the
true
best,
when you
yeah,
yeah, it like that really resonates with me, and I'm sure a lot of the people watching, and it's in every aspect of our lives, I think it's part of human nature. We want to find the next best thing, and what's the next thing that we add, and it's so hard to just focus on, "Okay, I need to be where my feet are.
yeah,
Let me enjoy where I am," and not in a way where we're relaxing and we're, not showing up for our goals anymore, but to be like, "Hey, let me trust myself. Let me trust that I know what I need to be doing, and let me just execute on it, and let me just enjoy this, and let me not focus so much on the outcome that I'm not enjoying the process," and, like, I think it can be so easy to get into that trap of, "Okay, what's next? Now I need to build on it," and it's something that I know I'm working through, where it's like, "Let me just enjoy what I'm doing instead of thinking about what's the next task. What's
right,
the next thing I need to add to my plate?" And a lot of my clients struggle with that too, and I think that's a lot of what makes a good coach is somebody that's able to point out what's actually gonna move the needle for you. Because a lot of times our mind likes to stray to, "Okay, what's this new workout routine I saw on TikTok? What's this new meal recipe that I wanna try? What's new, new, new?" And it's like, squirrel, squirrel, shiny object, and it's like, let me focus on what is going to move the needle in the right direction, and it
right.
can be
It's
hard
like
to
you're
do.
not even perfecting what you're currently doing, or like not
Yeah,
even perfecting. You're not even nailing or getting used to doing what you're currently doing. Like
I
it's like
like
when you
that.
learn a RDL for the first time. You know, like nail that movement before you try to like go up and weight.
Yeah,
And I think, like, I couldn't even nail my workout routine because I was just constantly changing machines. There's a lot. So I was constantly changing machines, and I don't know. It was very overwhelming. And that just goes to show, like, when you're constantly chasing more and more and more, you're never going to get more because you can't even nail, like, where you're at currently.
yeah.
That's like the biggest lesson I'm going to take away from 2026 is the
Me
past like
too.
4 or 5 months when I was just trying to it sucks because you're trying so hard to be the best you can be. I was like driving all these hours to put in just to go to this one gym I thought was gonna make me have the best workouts. And sure, like the gym was cool, but I was like so stressed out because I already commute from like work to my home, but like the gym to
Yeah,
home commute, it was doing myself a disservice.
yeah,
But that
yeah.
just goes to show like sometimes the best you have or the best thing is something you already have, you know?
Yeah, the simplest answer is usually the right one, right? And we're always a lot of times when we overcomplicate things, it's coming from a sense of, like, distraction from what we really do need to be focusing on, and like you said, that's what I mean, it's all a work in progress, and that's what I've been working on this year, and, I mean, mainly other aspects of my life and getting into my routine and how things are changing. It's like I am trying to focus on just being, like, the most calm version of myself and, regulating my nervous system, as tacky as that sounds, and just being calm and taking things one day at a time and moving through the day without getting so wound up, so it
I
translates to so many different aspects.
I kind of want to close on Alani. You're going on your honeymoon. How are you approaching that with not an all or nothing mentality? Like
Oh my gosh.
nutrition
Okay.
training.
Yes. Okay, such a great question. And I would be lying if okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. We're going in June for 15 days, which
Okay.
I am so excited about. And years ago, I would have been freaking out,
Yeah.
or I would have either been freaking out that early on in my fitness journey, oh my gosh, I can't track my macros. Oh my gosh, I need to bring a food scale. Oh my gosh, I need to get to the gym. Where are the gyms? I haven't looked up where a single gym is. I haven't planned to bring a food scale, none of that. And I think maybe middle of the road in my fitness journey, I would have maybe swung the pendulum the completely different way and been like, I'm just going to abandon everything. I'm going to eat until I'm just so overly stuffed and all of these things. Now I feel like I'm in such a middle ground because we've touched on this in the past. I feel like I don't have a scarcity mindset when it comes to these things. I am so excited to enjoy the food and the culture, and I'm going to have everything that I want to enjoy in moderation. And I'm not going to be like, this is the last meal I'm ever going to have. I think that's something that I've really learned for myself. And I understand that I'm going to be getting in a lot of movement. I'm going
Right.
to be getting in so many steps while we're there. If we run into a gym and there happens to be a way to train, I'm going to be so excited to get a workout in and to move my body how I'm so fortunate to be able to do those things, but it's not this weight on me of, "Oh my gosh, I have to train. I have to seek this out." In contrast, I'm going away to Sarasota for Memorial Day weekend, just quick trip, quick staycation with our family.
Right.
And will I be seeking out, okay, I'm planning ahead what meals I'm going to bring, where I'm going to train, and when I'm going to do so, waking up a little bit earlier so that I can fit it into the day. But how often do we go away for more than a week at a time? Usually not more than once a year, right?
Yeah.
Are those 7 days out of your 365 days gonna throw you off track? No, but if 7 days turns into 3 months, that's when we start to see those discrepancies. So it's like, I'm going into this just enjoying it. I feel like I have a really good groove of I've built these habits that I don't abandon, right? I had a client this past week that's going to Italy for a couple of weeks, and it was really stressing her out. And I was talking about, look, we've put in foundational work of how to build a balance plate, how to eat to fuel your body. That take those tools with you. You don't have to abandon those tools. And I don't want to ramble too much on this, but I think that that is such a freeing feeling to be going into this vacation and not be stressed about what I'm eating, when I'm going to be working out. Honestly, the main thing that's stressing me out is how am I going to take 2 weeks away from coaching? How am I going to, I've been working on in my business, how am I doing that? So I was, figuring out those logistics and I have it all figured out for how I'm going to be taking care of my clients. But how cool to not be stressing about my meals, not be stressing about food, not be stressing about workouts. I'm so excited.
There's a time and a place for everything, you know. Like there's a time to take your food scale and take your meals and prep ahead and plan ahead, but there's a time also to just go and enjoy life. And
Yeah,
that's what all this is about in maturing in the sport. Like once you are in
absolutely.
this and you learn don't have that all or nothing mentality. You learn when that's appropriate and when it's not.
Yeah. And also, when's the last time we've taken a week, 2 weeks off from training hard, 5 out of 7 days of the week, and it's like, how great is your body gonna feel coming off of that vacation with 2 full weeks of rest, right? Are we probably gonna get some training in because Bradley and I both love to train, it's a passion of ours, absolutely, we're gonna be going on a cruise for, a small portion of it, probably gonna be some gyms there. There's probably gonna be some cool gyms in Spain because they're so big into fitness over there, so I don't know. It's just cool to be like, okay, I'm going to come back recovered and restored and ready to hit the ground running into this growth season before I compete in 2027. There's just so many positives that I think that get really easily overlooked.
Well, and what's so special about that, Alani, is that if y'all find a gym, you're gonna train not because you feel like you have to and like it's a guilt thing, but it's because you actually
Because we get
like want
to.
to, because it makes you
Yeah.
happy, and that's important.
Exactly. And when
Oh,
we put that pressure on ourselves to check that box, it's like we lose sight of, wow, how lucky are we to be able to do these things? You know, I
yes.
know that it's easier said than done, but when we take that pressure off, it's like, oh, cool, I get to move my body rather than stressing about, oh, I didn't get to go to the gym today. It's like, but how many great experiences did you have that day? You know, it's like we want to make sure that our priorities are in the right spot.
The
So,
gym will always be there, and you're not gonna like
absolutely.
derail progress in 1 or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But like you said earlier, you just can't make like the 2 week break turn into like a 3 or 4 month break. It's like go have fun, go enjoy your life, come back and get right back to it. Nothing
Yeah,
changes.
yeah, absolutely. I
I love
love it.
it. All right, well, I think that
Well,
was a good note to close on.
I think so too. I think this was a good one. I love when we get to talk about more of the lifestyle side of things. I feel like sometimes in fitness, I don't know, I don't want to toot our own horn, but I feel like there is a little bit of a gap
Yeah.
there, you know? So it's kind of cool to close that gap and talk about this middle ground between, super, super restrictive and completely lenient. So
No,
it's
and this
exciting.
book, I love how the podcast just feels so natural. Like I think this one might be my favorite one. Like it was so nice. I
Yeah.
feel like we're just talking on the phone to each other.
I know. I'm like when I visited Kate, and we'll wrap up here, but
Oh, I'm a
we
cry.
were just chatting away when we were training for like 2 hours. Right? No, it was we trained for 2 hours. We were there for like three and a half,
We
just
should have put mics on us like as we trade. That would have been a really good podcast.
we could have got like 4 episodes out of that.
I know. Oh my god, it was crazy.
I love it. But yeah, that was a great episode. I'm glad we got it
Now
in.
just let us know what you want to see, and I think we should do a Q&A coming up. I love those.
Oh, yeah. I had an idea too, if you guys think this would be a good idea, where it was like we pick 3 hot takes. Like we have people submit things like similar to a Q&A, but maybe
Yeah,
submit hot takes and then we present them and like our views on them. And
I
like
love
I think that could be kind of
All right,
fun.
that's the one. That's the
Okay.
one, guys. We'll get to work on that.
Yeah, DM either one of us. DM me, DM Kate. That'll be fun. Or I mean, honestly, just DM at Gym Girls Unfiltered on
Yeah,
Instagram
we could post
with
like
your
a little
hot takes.
question box or something too.
Yes, look out for that, guys. That'll be fun. But of course, you guys will see us whenever we upload. I mean, we try to stick to Mondays at 5 a.m. has been our bread and butter, but we're going to get these out as often as we can. But we appreciate all of you, and we can't wait to see you in the next episode.
Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye.